Hey sports fans, this is Straight from the Basement with Ommy. I'm a sports fan who always said, if I never played a sport professionally, then I want to talk about it. I'm born and raised in New York City. Played organized basketball for several well-known teams in the mid-'70s and the early '80s, such as the legendary Home Cold Rucker Tournament, Melbank, Stone Gym and Riverside Church, LaGuardia House, and my all-time favorite, Each One Teach One. Having sports in my life at an early age always kept me out of trouble. If I wasn't playing basketball, I was either playing football or baseball. Get through this Western Conference, so we gonna rock and roll with it starting right now. 15th seed last season, your Portland Trailblazers.
Oh man.
21 and 61. 21 wins, 61. And Chauncey Billups, again, I mentioned this to you early in the season, he is not the coach. He was a great point guard with those Detroit Pistons. But my man can't coach. And I don't see the Trailblazers, you know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't really do nothing this offseason. I don't see y'all in last place. But then again, I'm looking at the Jazz. You know what I mean? Y'all may wind up 14th seed. Y'all may wind up 14th seed. What you think, Ralph?
Man, I knew things was gonna get real dark for Portland once they received Ayton. And just to see the lack of fire and aggression Ayton have, I'm like, oh, that's not a person that you should really tout your team around. So they may end up in that same position next year.
Yeah.
So they just gotta figure something out, whether it's coaching or personnel or the talent. They gotta figure something out to get back clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's your team. Talk about it.
Yeah, so, with Portland, man, it's some depression there for me that comes, that's my team. But, once they got rid of Damian Lillard, I knew we was going into the dungeon. It was going to get really dark for us. Mm-hmm. I started to prep myself, and here we are. We're exactly there. I know Ayton, we can't count on him. Some players just don't have that dog in him. He's got the body. He's got the skills, but he don't have that dog in him. And so we can't count on him to anchor the team. And, Simon's great guard, but he's not ready yet. We got Swoosh, great guard off the draft a couple years ago, but, he's still developing. And so, I don't see anything happening this season different outside of the 14th spot maybe. And the only way I see them getting in the play-in is if they fire Chauncey and bring in another coach, because Chauncey, I don't believe, I agree with you when you say he's not a good coach. I think he's a good coach, but I don't think he's a good coach for this NBA. This NBA is not the NBA that he played in. You see what I'm saying? Where you got you're playing the post game. It's just not that NBA no more.
True.
The ball he played and the point guard position he ran, and the Hamiltons with the middies and all of that, we're not doing that no more. We got to outscore the other team. We need to be shooting these threes, and so they don't have that lineup, and they don't have a coach that believes in that type of run and gun three offense. And that's what's needed for them to beat the teams in the West.
So let me get this straight. You said if y'all get rid of Chauncey and get a better coach in there, you can make it into the play-in?
Yeah, I believe.
I don't see that.
I believe.
The team you got.
I believe so. I think the team that we got is actually not a bad team. On paper, you look at player by player. We've seen Simons drop 30 many times.
Yes, we have.
So we know that he's a hooper. We seen Henderson. The IPG. We know what he's capable of doing as far as going to the rack, as far as getting a bucket. You put him with a vet, we'll be just fine. Ayton is a super duper role player at this point, and you can rely on him to grab them boards and hold down the paint. We just not going to see him be Embiid on the offensive side.
No.
And that is what they need from him. But yeah, to keep it short for you, yeah, if they change up the coach, I believe that they can get into an offense that can have them scoring high. But on the defensive side is going to be the question because they're small.
Okay. All right. Well, San Antonio came in 14th seed, 22-60. Got the big man, Big Rim, the Frenchman. Played his first season, did very well. Popovich, not going nowhere. I mean, he's like Benjamin Franklin. He ain't going nowhere. I don't know about this team. They really didn't do nothing this off season. I don't know if they remain in the 14th seed or flirt with the 13th or the 15th seed. Big man can't do it all. He gonna need help, and he don't really have no help. That's all I got to say about San Antonio.
There's gonna be a lot of fine tuning with them. So just fine tuning and continue to build around Wemby, and seeing Wemby's reaction after losing that Olympic game this summer. He's coming back for his this year. So I feel like watch out for him to just be head hunting. So it's gonna be a lot of fine tuning. They may fall in the same spot next year, in my opinion, but we're gonna continue our student trail upwards though.
Yeah, San Antonio, man. I may sound crazy, but I think they're one legitimate point guard away from, actually making the playoffs. I think that Victor is extremely special. I think he's more than just a generational player, and I think he's going to be breaking records in his league. And so I have high hopes for him. I think we're just seeing the beginning. But if he don't have to worry about guarding on playing defense and blocking shots and being a point guard, I think we'll see a different team. I'm pretty sure Papa gets some extra pieces over there. And so when I look at the West,
you got Paul George now. Chris Paul.
And so they did get Chris Paul. So now that they got Chris Paul, you got a pick and roll offense with Chris Paul and Wemby.
Now I don't know if Chris is starting. I don't know.
It don't matter because I know that Chris Paul is gonna be in the game when it's time to close it out. I know that. I'm looking at the other point guards on the team.
Yeah.
They only starting over them because they're young. They got them legs. When it comes down to them to crunch time, they're gonna put the vet in there. And even the old Chris Paul, I still watch Chris Paul and the Rico Hines open runs on YouTube this year. He's still killing guys in the mid range, and he's always gonna kill guys in the mid range. And you talking about a pick and roll offense with him having a pick between him and his midi and this guy that's 10 feet tall is gonna be crazy.
And so, be crazy.
And then you got Pop at the coach, and so I think that they could be something.
All right. Well, listen, the Grizzlies is next. They fell to 13th seed. We all know why. Okay. So we all know why. I'm not even gonna spend no time on these Grizzlies because I already know Memphis. They were 13th seed last season. I got Memphis probably going into that 5th or 6th spot when because Ja be back. He gonna be back healthy, right? Big man, Steven Adams.
Yep.
He's not there no more. But they got a dog team, well coached. I see them in the playoffs. Not in the wild card, I see them in the playoffs. I'm going to leave it like that. What you think, bro?
Man, I feel like with the energy Ja going to bring back next year coming in healthy, they might. I see them with the top-heavy competition that the West have right now, I see them finishing at about probably around 7 or 8.
Okay.
But it's going to be entertaining to watch.
All right. What you think about the Grizz?
I think that the Grizzlies, they got a shot at the title with this guy, Ja Morant. I honestly believe that. We haven't. He really is that dude. And if he could just focus in, not want to be a rapper, not want to be a trapper, and focus in on basketball,
right,
and leveling up. Because remember, what we saw was the beginning of Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
So if he could focus on leveling up his game and being in the trenches, like to how he got to this point, you know, I think that we're going to see a better Ja Morant, a more poised Ja Morant. And then I also believe that, you know, they got a squad. I mean, they got rid of their bad guy. You know, and Dylan Brooks,
right?
You know, but I think that was good for their team, you know, and so yeah, even young guy, the big man, what's his name? What's his name over there playing with him?
Come on, Desmond Bain?
No. And Bain is a problem, but I mean, yeah, Klay Thompson over there.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about what's his name? Jared? Not Jared. Big man. He's big man. Anyway, they're big man. They got a solid young big man over there. That's a couple attributes short of an Anthony Davis. If you pay attention to him, and so yeah, no, I think that Ja Morant, he come back, he do his thing. You know, they got a solid coach over there, a real solid coach over there, and they have they got good energy down there in Memphis, in that city.
Yeah.
And I really think with his father on the sideline, he can surprise people the same way, maybe not for the chip, but the same way Allen Iverson surprised people going against Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
Taking them to Game 7 in the conference finals. Yeah. You know, and so yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
Well, Houston Rockets, 11 seed, 41-41 last season. Talking about Dylan Brooks, that was a good pick for the Rockets. The Rockets, new head coach. I think the Rockets this season is in the wild card. Excuse me, I keep saying wild card. Baseball in my brain with my Yankees. That's what's why. I see Houston Rockets in the play-in, or maybe getting that AFC. Real talk. I can spend 5 minutes on why. I like the way they built. I like what they did in the offseason. I like what they got. I think Houston, you're going to see Houston definitely in that play-in, or maybe getting that AFC.
I think Houston and Memphis is going to be a really entertaining battle to watch. Two young teams bang their heads against each other, and I feel like they may end up with, is his name Jalen Green? Jalen Green, right?
Yes.
Yeah, with Jalen Green, I feel like they may end up probably like the AFC. They're going to be in the play-in, and they may even take it and go into the playoffs. So they're going to be a team to watch for sure.
And what you think about Houston?
Man, I'm excited about Houston. You know, it's been pretty depressing here in Houston. We in Houston shooting this right now. You know, and so obviously I'm ready to go to the games, and I've been really enjoying the cheap tickets. You know, they've been real cheap. You know, around here, and so but they're about to get expensive, and I better go put in to see what they looking like for the season tickets, because why they low right now, because this guy's just begun. You know, shooting and turning around like Steph before the ball hits the rim or the basket and it's going in. He's crossing, he's dunking, talking about Jalen Green.
Yeah, Green,
and
you
then,
got the big man.
and then,
the big man?
Oh, man, when I went to the game this
him.
past December with the wife, and I saw that big man, that Jalen was out there stinking it up. Much love to you. You nice, but you was stinking it up that night, and it's all good. But big man was holding it down. And I was like, who's that? Who's that?
Yeah.
And they was playing against KD.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And he's got post moves. He's got finesse. So we got a legitimate scoring and defensive big over there in Houston. And so I think that as far as where they fall,
Sagoon is who we talking about.
Sagoon. He's moving like a Paul Gasol.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
He's moving like a Paul Gasol, and I'm a fan of him. And so, yeah, as far as where they fall, I was surprised they fell 11th because they were not looking good.
Well, he got hurt. Sagoon got hurt at the wrong time. And that's the only reason why the Warriors wound up in the play-in, because Rockets was going to take that, and Warriors wouldn't have never made the play-in.
That's right. That he did get hurt. He did get hurt. I think if Jalen Green gets the poise about himself, he's getting older now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's about to have a kid. You know, and all of that. He's about to be a dad. You know, I think if he can have some poise on that court and control that offense like a point guard, oh man.
I was going to go with.
Yeah, they gonna be looking better than they was last year. I'm not quite sure where they end up, but they could be a number 5.
Yeah.
As I'm looking at it, you know what I'm saying? They could be another 5. They could beat out the Kings. They could beat out the Pelicans. They could beat out even the Suns, because the Suns lost to them that night that I saw them play. You know, and so this just the reality of things. The league is really changing.
Yeah, no doubt.